What if the drink which you give to your feverish child, the one with bright big letters and a big cross on the packet, is just sugar water? Sounds dangerous, right? This was a harsh reality which forced the Hyderabad doctor, Dr. Sivaranjani Santosh, to act upon it. What followed next was a courtroom battle between a single doctor versus a 1,200 crore market. The battle lasted for 8 years, and finally now the FSSAI has recognized it. They have clearly said that the word oral rehydration solution should not be used in this sugar water solutions, and should be used only in the WHO recommended packets. Hi guys, in today's video, let's discuss about this David versus Goliath battle where a single doctor, Dr. Sivaranjani Santosh, fought against these giants to actually take out this harsh reality where sugar solutions were being sold under the pretext that these were oral rehydration solutions causing harm to children. Everything started in 2017. Dr. Sivaranjani Santosh, a pediatrician by profession, was treating a 2-year-old kid who had diarrhea with dehydration. The mother was repeatedly saying that I had given the approved fruit oral rehydration solution. In the packet there was a big cross. Also it was written that it is approved by WHO. But on the other hand, the child's dehydration was not improving. Also lab reports were showing that there was high levels of sodium. That is, the child was suffering from hypernatremia, which can be life threatening for the child. This is where her suspicions arose, and that evening she went to a pharmacy to actually check what was this fruit ORS solution. When she went there, she found packets of this fruit oral rehydration solution juices. This was in different flavors like orange chocolate. That is logical because they sell it in flavors, because the child will find this WHO oral rehydration solution to be bland, and if some flavors are there, then the child will be able to drink it properly. But what was alarming was the sugar component. It was very high in it, which is actually very dangerous. And also there was no citrate. This citrate is very important for kids who are suffering from dehydration, but these fruit ORS solutions have no citrate. Also, one more thing which was alarming was that there was no mention of the osmolarity of this solution. This is mainly because the WHO has approved an oral rehydration solution with a low osmolarity of 245 milliosmoles. Basically, this is to create a gradient such that the sodium glucose co-transport works well in the small intestine, such that appropriate amount of water is reabsorbed into the body and the child does not suffer from dehydration. But when high sugar content is there in these juices and you drink the juice, this juice goes into your gut lumen and creates a very bad osmolarity gradient in the body, such that more amount of water will be absorbed into the gut lumen than going into your body. What will happen now with more water in your stomach because of this sugar? This water will actually increase your diarrhea and cause more dehydration because it is taking the water which is already there in your body. This is what was alarming to her, because what was meant to treat the kid was actually making the kid more sick. Her suspicions became true and she filed a Right to Information Act about this fruit ORS solution, and this crusade of 8 years began. The reply for this right to information was very timid. They just told that it has been filed. Now, not able to withstand the problem that these fruit ORS solutions have so much amount of sugar that it is, when consumed by the kids, it is actually absorbing the water into the gut lumen and worsening the diarrhea and worsening the dehydration. She couldn't sit simply. What she did was very brilliant. She sent with her own money to private labs to test these ORS solutions, and the amount of sugar present in these ORS drinks was alarming, because of which the very ORS solution which are being marketed and sold in the market saying that it is going to treat your dehydration is actually worsening your dehydration by increasing the absorption of water into your gut lumen and increasing the diarrhea rather than decreasing it. Now, not able to go forward in this legal route, what she did was she started advertising about it. She started speaking to a lot of mothers, Rotary clubs. She started creating WhatsApp groups and started spreading awareness in social media. And soon, social media caught what she was actually trying to tell. By 2019, she had gathered enough evidence. She had taken case of about 43 children who had diarrhea resulting in dehydration, they consumed this fruit ORS solution and their dehydration worsened. And she filed a public interest litigation. See, the companies for this actually responded by telling that the term oral rehydration solution is actually a generic name like energy drink, and public have to read the components of the juice before consuming this. See, they didn't say that what she told was wrong. They just told that public have to know that what is there in this solution and drink it judiciously. See, what she was saying was the sugar component present in this is actually increasing the dehydration by reabsorbing the water which is already present in the body and worsening the diarrhea and dehydration. They didn't comment on that. They just told her that what you are saying is right or wrong, we are not commenting, but what we are saying is this term ORS is a generic name and we can also use it, and it is left up to the public to decide whether to drink it or not. Now the court said that we cannot involve ourselves in this matter. You have to go to the FSSAI, that is the Food Administration of India. Now when she filed it in FSSAI, correctly COVID came and everything came to a halt. But this time she used it judiciously to create a 92-page dossier, and she got it co-signed by 1400 pediatricians, and it started gaining traction in Twitter also. And public also started questioning actually what this ORS solutions were doing. Now see, when you are actually fighting against such big companies, you can expect strong replies from big legal teams, and that is what she got. She got a lot of replies from these companies telling like you are slandering our name, lot of legal notices sent to her, but she fought each and every one. She actually used to travel to lot of places, attend these court cases, give evidence that these ORS solutions are actually causing worsening of diarrhea rather than treating them. But still she was not emerging victorious. But as this case was gaining more and more traction, the public started noticing it, and she actually was heading in the right track. By October 2022, this issue had gained much traction such that the FSSAI finally responded. They clearly told that these fruit solutions which are being sold under the pretext of ORS should actually have a disclaimer of about 20% of the size of the packet. That is, you have to write a disclaimer of the ill effects which can come by drinking these fruit solutions. But everybody clearly saw that 80% of that packet will have all the other advertisements saying that can be used to treat dehydration, with a small disclaimer of only 20%. This is where Dr. Sivaranjani Santosh caught it, and she made a reel where she showed a child struggling to read that microscopic disclaimer, but being able to see this 80% of the packet where the rest of the things are given, like it can be used to treat dehydration. This issue started gaining traction. Also, there came a leaked document from one of these industries which had actually started a campaign to discredit the pediatricians who were actually trying to actively voice out against these fruit juices sold under the pretext of it being an ORS solution. Coupled by both of this, everybody started saying that this is actually a scam and this should not be sold as an ORS, but a fruit juice is a fruit juice until and unless it is properly meeting a WHO standard of an oral rehydration solution. The final nail in the coffin came when she made a reel where she drank the actual ORS solution, and side she had a solution, a fruit juice sold under the pretext of ORS. She drank it and told a fruit juice is a fruit juice until and unless the WHO standards are met. See, these fruit solutions did not meet any WHO standards. The osmolarity we talked about before, they did not meet that. High levels of sugar was present. Again and again I'm saying, what does sugar do? You drink sugar, it will reabsorb the water which is already present in your body, and it will actually increase the dehydration rather than decreasing it. The sole purpose why we are drinking oral rehydration solution, the name only says it is rehydration, but these fruit juices are actually worsening dehydration. So this was something which she did by her sheer hard work and determination, and finally everybody came to understand what she was saying, that this corporate companies were actually trying to sell something which will cause more harm than good for the purpose for which they are selling it. By October 14, 2025, the FSSAI clearly said that this term ORS should not be used in these fruit juice solution until they meet the standards of WHO oral rehydration solutions. This was a clear victory for Dr. Sivaranjani Santosh, and she deserves all the credit. She, as a single person, fought against these corporate giants to get this verdict. Also in this, if you can see, the thing is what we should do now. Now see, the first thing is, if your child is suffering from diarrhea and having dehydration and you're planning to give oral rehydration solution and you're getting it from a pharmacy, first you have to see the composition. The osmolarity should be 245 milliosmoles per liter. Also, the sodium concentration should be 75 millimoles, glucose should be 75 millimoles. All this you have to check. I know it is difficult, but seeing how these companies are actually playing, we have to see all this. Also, the taste test. See, the actual ORS solution tastes salty. If it is tasting like a fruit juice, it is a fruit juice. It is not a WHO approved oral rehydration solution. This you have to be clear. You have to teach your child also that actual oral rehydration solution actually tastes salty. The next thing we can do is spread awareness about this. Everybody should come to know that this ORS solution tastes salty and the composition of the ORS solution, because this is very alarming. The very solution which we want to treat dehydration is actually worsening dehydration. Now you will not see the term ORS in packets in pharmacy, so that is a good thing, but still we have to be vigilant about it. This story of Dr. Sivaranjani Santosh is a story of grit, determination, and how she was able to fight against these corporate companies. See, they tried to slander her name, they sent legal notices, but still she was fixated on her conviction that fruit juices are fruit juices unless they follow the WHO recommendations for a oral rehydration solution, and she won it. Now it is our duty to spread awareness about this. Make sure everybody knows about this, and in the market, next time your child is having any diarrhea or dehydration, you have to give an oral rehydration solution which is appropriate to WHO standards. As we discussed previously, the osmolarity should be 245 milliosmoles per liter and the sodium and glucose concentration should be 75 millimoles per liter. Do like, share and subscribe me for more interesting videos, and also please drop down in the comments below about your views about this case.